Hi, I'm Dr. Isaac Halliday, owner of Lodestar Physical Therapy, and I am here with Karen, who has worked in the personal injury field for over 8 years, helping clients navigate some of the most stressful and vulnerable moments of their lives. At Steele Adams Hosman Legal, she brings a strong mix of legal knowledge, compassion, practical experience to support injured individuals through claims process, which can be very complicated. And so welcome, Karen. Thanks for coming on and chatting with me. This is going to be so fun. So excited to have you.
No, thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me on and letting me explain a little bit more of what we do because it's this big, it always sounds like this big scary thing and it's not and it's really fun for us. So thanks for
Yeah.
letting me hop on and explain a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I want to get to know a little bit more about you because you do like so many volunteer things and like not just your work, but like you're just awesome, right? Mother of three
Yeah.
boys.
Yep.
Oh
Three
my
boys.
word. Just wild. I have two other brothers, so like I know what it's like with two brothers growing up, and it's just a big wrestling fest every day. Cool. What else do you do? You volunteer for it's MAD, right?
Yeah, so MAD is Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So it's a national organization started by a mom who lost her daughter to an impaired driver. I believe it was 50 years ago. I think we just celebrated that 50th birthday. And yeah, we are a volunteer organization. Um, and each state kind of holds their own services and programs. But yeah, Matt's been around for a long time, so I'm really happy to be able to be a part of their program and with my personal injury knowledge, help some more victims.
That's so cool. How long have you been doing that?
So it's about a year and a half now, and I actually got in contact with Mad because one of our clients was hit by a drunk driver, and Mad reached out to them to give them some support and services. And the client mentioned that to me, and so I said, "Oh yeah, I remember Mad. I like grew up with Mad and Mad commercials." And so I said, I want to be a part of it, and I reached out, became a victim service advocate and shortly after, what became the president for Utah. So,
That's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome because you're awesome and they're like, Karen needs to be president. That's cool. So you have like all these different connections to help people recover and kind of get through their hardship. Because I mean that's a big thing when you get in an accident, or a loved one passes away from a drunk driver, things like that. So that is
Yeah,
awesome work.
thank you.
So cool. Well, I want to kind of talk a little bit because I mean, and I get it a lot too when someone, gets in a car accident or whatever, and they come to me. I'm like, well, have you talked to a lawyer or attorney? And they're like, no, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm like, like, tell us what should people do? When should they talk to attorneys? All that stuff. Like, boom, I just got hit by a car. What do I do?
No, it's a great question. And yeah, like I said, sometimes people think like hiring an attorney, that's I've never done that before. And it sounds like this big scary thing. And it also sounds like this big expensive thing. And so, a couple things kind of along with that. One, our job is to help people in this difficult situation. And life is busy enough. Like I can say my life today is busy enough, right? And I haven't been in an accident, knock on wood, but to then add, now you have to deal with fixing your vehicle and calling your insurance company, and the other person's insurance company is calling you and asking you these questions. And you don't know if you're going to say the right thing or if you're going to say something that in the future is going to hurt your case. And then you have to go and get medical care, and you don't know where to go and get medical care. And you don't know what's going to happen with those medical bills. And then you have to collect a police report. Like there's so many moving parts that we can just take care of for you. And just if you make one call to us, we make all of those 10 other calls for you, collect all the evidence. We just make it very simple to have this like one person who's going to guide you through this process, and all of your questions you can ask this one person. So it's kind of just like hiring a little assistant after an accident, right? And saying, "What do I do? Can you deal with them?" Yeah, so
Yeah,
like think of us as your personal injury assistant.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah, and so you asked when should people call us? And I mean, how fast do you want an assistant? How many calls do you want to make before you realize someone else can do it for you, right? And I totally understand people saying, well, I'm going to see how this plays out first. And so there's no wrong time to call us unless you have settled your claim. Once you sign a release agreement with them, you have signed off your rights on any future claims with them. And at that point, it's too late. And depending on the situation, some insurance companies are going to be really pushy to get you to sign
Yeah.
that because that means they are done with you and they're moving on to the next. And usually, if they're really pushing, they either just want to be done or they're hiding something sometimes. So that should also be a red flag if they're really working with you and
Yeah.
trying to get you to sign off on that. So anytime before that, we're super happy to help. Obviously, the closer to the accident that it is, the more that we can do. For example, we have gone out, the day after an accident and canvassed an area and gone door to door knocking on people's houses to see if they caught any footage of the accident on their Ring cameras
Mm.
or gas stations, and we have been really successful at that. However, companies and, even people's cameras, they update and they lose memory so they can keep recording more. And so that there is a critical window where the earlier you call us, the more we can do.
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of brings up the point of, I've heard kind of mixed things a little bit about this, but like if right, I get in a car accident, right, police comes over to come talk with me and they're like, hey, what happened? Like, what do you say? Like, I've heard some people like, don't say anything. I've heard people, like, what do you say? Because sometimes, there is a camera there, at a local business that you can be like, oh, just go check the camera. And hopefully the police do that,
Yeah,
right?
and sometimes
But
they do, and sometimes
yeah.
it's a really busy day for them, and they don't have the time or resources to go and do
Mhm.
that, right? And so, one, depending on them and to have the time and to have the knowledge to, the resources to is kind of scary,
Yeah.
right? You're gambling that. Um, and here's the thing that everyone reacts different when they're in shock.
Mhm.
And usually when you're in shock, you're not going to feel pain until that adrenaline settles. And a lot of people say, well, I said that I wasn't hurt. And they asked me if I wanted an ambulance, and I said no. And that must be I ruined my case. And we can always come back from things like that. So, try your best to be calm. We do have some resources on our website to kind of, after an accident, this is what you do. And that way you just have to get it out of your glove box and say, okay, I don't even have to think, I just have to read.
Just go through
Um,
these questions.
Yes, exactly. Just like a step by step,
I love
because
it.
yeah, you're gonna be in shock and you're gonna be, nervous and not knowing what to say. But say your truth and then give us a call and we can come back from anything that
Yeah.
you said. Um, but yes, filing that police report, right? A lot of people are like, well, we'll just exchange information and that's okay. But again, you're gambling on someone then calling their insurance and saying something completely different.
Yeah.
So making that police report every single time is going to pay off, even if you have an appointment you're going to miss or, it's going to pay off.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like when you said you're like, because people will be like, yeah, I didn't need the ambulance then, or my neck didn't hurt then, or my back or whatever. I mean, I get people all the time from an accident that was 2 days or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, after the accident. And they're like, yeah, no, this like started at the accident and I just didn't realize it until, a couple days or weeks later when it's like, oh, my neck has never hurt or my shoulders never hurt like this. It's like, well, yeah, sometimes it takes a while for that to show.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it comes from shock. And then sometimes, people, we want to minimize scary things, right? So we
Yeah,
want to say, well, it does hurt a little bit, but I'm going to take some ibuprofen and I'm gonna be fine in a couple days. And then those couple days go by and it still hurts, right? And
yeah,
so, yeah, it's totally normal.
yeah, yeah. So walk us through your process. Like, so someone gets in the accident, they did the smart thing, and they called you like right away and been like, Karen, help me.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
is
So
your process? Yeah.
a couple things, and I'll start from the very beginning, right? Like pre-accident, something you can do today are two big things. One, get a dash cam camera. That is like you can't argue with actual footage, and so having that is super, super helpful. There's some really inexpensive options on Amazon, 30, $50 that are going to pay off in the long run, right? And if you go on some cool trips, you can use it for other things. So there's that. And also understand your coverage. Like call your agent and say, what does this actually mean? Like explain it to me in fifth grade language because, some of us are no better. We just don't understand what our policy actually means. And also ask, like I've talked about gambling and expecting people to do the right thing or say the right thing. But again, we expect people to have enough coverage to cover us and our injuries and compensate us fairly when by the amount of coverage that they have,
Yeah.
right? And we have no control over that, whether people have insurance or have enough insurance. And so making sure that you have enough insurance in your policy is the best thing that you can do today. And so asking, how much coverage do I have? And what is the dollar amount difference if I move up to the next tier of coverage? And usually it's only a couple dollars and it's going to come in so handy later on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like pre-accident. So if someone calls me and they're at the accident scene, I would say a couple things. One, ask around and see if there's anyone that saw it that you can get their contact information. Like witnesses are underrated. They come in so, so handy, especially if they were just a bystander who has no relationship to either of you, right? So ask around. Two is take pictures or a video. A lot of times we just like forget or our memories, or we just experience something traumatic. And so our memories can play us a little bit. So again, some you can't argue with footage or pictures. So take pictures of the scene of vehicles. The next thing, obviously, like I said, is call the police and make a report. And then if you're calling us, we're going to be able to take care of everything else. And what that means is we're going to start requesting your medical records immediately. So if you went to the hospital, if you went in an ambulance, we're going to start requesting those. We're going to reach out to your insurance company and the other person's insurance company and make those claims for you. And that can save you so much time. I mean like an hour each, right? So we're going to make those claims for you. We're going to let them know that you're being represented by our office, and so they don't need to contact you, and all communication just gets directed through us. We are going to collect all of the evidence of the accident. And that doesn't just mean a police report, but we do also collect the 911 call because sometimes other people call it in, and now you have a witness, right? Um, we're going to request any body cam or dash cam footage, any other witness statements. And like I said, sometimes if liability is being disputed of who was at fault, then if we're early enough, we can go and canvass the area or other businesses that might have that. So that's what we're going to do initially. And we're going to make sure that you get into someone who knows the process of personal injury, knows common injuries, and gets you treated. And you don't have to worry about the medical bills. That just all gets directed to us, and we take care of it all for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's probably, I think, the biggest misconception too that I see with patients that have been in accidents that, right? One, they don't know like what a lien means, right? It's like, yeah, you know what? You can get the medical care that you need. You can get all of the stuff that you need, and right? You guys take care of it, right? And so it doesn't cost them anything really because it all goes through their insurance. And at the end of the case, they usually get money out of it too. So
That's
because,
always the goal,
yeah,
right? Like they were
right.
the ones injured and they were the ones who went through this experience. And yeah, like I said, it's traumatic and there is pain and suffering, not just for you, but also your family members who now have to give you rides and who have to pick up the
Mhm.
slack around the house and
Yeah,
your partner because now you're tossing and turning and you're not letting them sleep, right? So there is,
yeah,
I mean, it creates these big ripples into your life.
yeah,
And so you are the center of, and you should be treated as the center of this whole claim.
yeah, yeah. I love it. And I love your approach to like, it's your claim. It's not our claim. It's not, it's not, you're just not a number. You're like, we're here to take care of you and make sure that your life is as easy as it can be in the circumstance that it's in, right? Which
Mm.
can be pretty bad sometimes. And
Yeah.
sometimes, even on the little ones, it's like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, I've seen people after an accident. It's like, cool, yeah, we've seen you 4 times and you're back to normal and you're good to go. Like, great, nice job.
I wish that was the case for every
I
client,
do too.
right? That that
Sometimes
is
they
the
go
whole
on a long
purpose.
time, but
Yeah. That's the
you
whole
know,
purpose is to get you as best as we can
yeah,
alongside with I mean we create this team, right? Of like medical providers, us. I mean we are a team and so someone that works as a team like knows that you are at the center of
yeah,
this whole thing.
yeah, yeah. I love it. Um, what is like the biggest mistake that you've seen from people during the claims process or during any of that process? What's like the number one mistake that people call in and you're like, oh, you did that already, or whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
Or
there's
you
so
didn't
many.
do
How
that.
can I pick one?
Yeah, or maybe it's something that they didn't do.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a couple. One is we have had people come in and say, I'm still dealing with these injuries and this still hurts, and they're so young, right? And like
Yeah.
so they're probably it's a permanent injury by that point, and they're going to have some kind of pain or discomfort for the rest of their lives, and they've settled, and they've
Mhm.
already signed a release, and there's, like I said, nothing you can
There's
do
nothing.
about that. That's really frustrating. Or they have already settled their vehicle damages. And although we guide our clients through the vehicle damage process because it is two separate claims, and we don't take a fee on that. That's something that a lot of people are always like, well, I'm going to get even less if I hire an attorney. We don't take a fee on your property damage. Um, yeah, and people settle that so quickly too often.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I've seen some people where it's like, the initial offer that the insurance company gives them, they're like, oh yeah, that's great, and
Yeah,
then I've seen other people that are like, that is a good number, but then all of a sudden they use an attorney and they get, you know, 1.5 times more, they're like,
yeah,
oh man, this is even better.
yeah.
And
No,
like you said, you don't take the fee off of it. It's just more money in their pocket to to fix their loss of the vehicle. So
yeah, exactly. No, I know. And especially in Utah, right? Like we need our vehicles and we depend on our vehicles so
yeah,
much. And so I understand the urgency. But you just said it perfectly. It's an offer, which means that there's room for negotiations always. Um, yeah, and sometimes people just get excited or they say, well, I just need a vehicle. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna take it and move on. There's always room for negotiation.
yeah, yeah. And then like, again, because I think people, I don't know, they hear the word lawyer or attorney and they're just like they freak out. They're thinking that
Absolutely.
you guys are just these like bad guys just to try to make all sorts of money, hand over fist, but um which is just not the case. Um and so like when they come to you, like I think everyone's expecting like a huge fee just to like call you. I don't know, like
Mhm.
How is your like consultation process? What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really funny you said that actually, because we are very aware that people, think lawyers are maybe not honest,
Yeah.
or yeah, they're in it for themselves, or it's this big scary thing. And most of the time people have never talked to an attorney before this. And so something that we do at the office is we make home or we bake cookies in the office every single day, multiple times a day actually.
Oh man.
And just walking in and just smelling like chocolate chip cookies just kind of like puts your wall down a little bit, right? And
Yeah.
having a cookie and sitting down and literally breaking bread with someone and saying, I understand this is a really hard time. And so that's one small thing that we do to try to break that barrier. Um, our fees are very standard across Utah. Most attorneys really are. And it's just like you hear on commercials and TV ads and radio. You don't pay us until we win. It's true. It's fully true, right? So our fee is a contingency fee, and what that means is exactly that. We get paid contingent upon a settlement. And so I've never seen this happen, but I always say if the offer is zero and that is their final offer, 33% of zero is zero. And so you don't pay us anything. And there are other costs that we are going to invest in your case. Things like medical records, we have to pay for copies of those. We have to pay for copies of all the police evidence that I mentioned. We pay for that up front. And if at the end of the case, you feel great and you don't need an attorney anymore, or you decide that, that like the offer is zero, then you never have to pay us back for any of that. That's just things that we invest in. But it happens so, not frequent that
Yeah.
it's always worth it to help someone.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And everyone that I've worked with too, when, when everything is said and done and finalized and, maybe the payout wasn't as much as they had thought up front, they always go to the health care providers and wherever those bills are coming from. And, and I've, they say, hey, like this is, we didn't get as much as we thought. And so like, can you do a reduction? And we always do because again, it's all about the patient, right? And so,
Mhm.
but again, you guys do all that negotiating and the patient doesn't have to worry about it, which it's just a
Exactly.
huge thing off of their plate.
We have a whole team actually dedicated to do just that.
Yeah.
It's called disbursement team, and they cross all our T's and dot our I's and make sure that every provider is going to get paid so that when you receive your check, that is free and clear and you don't owe anyone any money, and that we have gotten you the most in pocket, whether it's, I mean, between the insurance and then also, big medical providers, your health insurance, like they expect to receive or to be asked for a reduction. And so we have a whole team that streamlines that process so that, yeah, it's as easy and pain-free for you as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I think that's just awesome. Um, and and I did not know you made cookies every day for people.
You need to
And
stop
your
by.
office is just down the road. I'll be there every morning. In fact, I'm headed over right after this.
There you go. Perfect.
So other than the cookies, what and just the fact that you just care about every client that you have, like what else sets Steele Adams Hosman apart from the rest?
I love this question because I have worked at other law firms and, other people who are part of our team also have, and we've even had clients who have moved over from other law firms. And I will tell you that hospitality is actually one of our core values. We had a book club within the firm, and one of the books that we read was Unreasonable Hospitality. It's a fantastic book for
It's a
anyone.
great book. That is an awesome book.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And we really adopted that. We really wanted to make sure that, in the law firm space, that's not something that you usually think about or expect from your law firm, right?
Mhm.
And so we said we are in the business of helping people. And so we get to really know people and we really get to know, hey, I'm calling in because I have to update my address because I just moved. Oh my gosh, congratulations. Where'd you go? And so each of our paralegals has a budget, a monthly budget to use, and they are highly encouraged to use that um, to provide some kind of hospitality gift or act of service to a client or one of our own team members. And it's really fun to see kind of what everyone does with it. So, like I said, sometimes it's a new mom and we send the mom a gift. Or sometimes, it's the opposite. It's a death in the family. We would just want to say, hey, we're really sorry that you're going through this. We had a client who he was a real estate agent, and so, income isn't always consistent, and he was in a really bad bike accident, and we set up a GoFundMe and raised thousands of dollars for him. So we hospitality is something that SH really, really values, and we have a lot of fun with. But besides that, our firm litigates a lot. And sometimes that means that we're not the right firm for everyone, and that's okay. And we are super happy to, we have colleagues. We are super happy to tell you who the right person for you to talk to is. But what that means is there's kind of two phases in the claims world, if you will. So there's something called pre-litigation, and that's we talk to the adjuster and we negotiate with the adjuster. And the adjuster is the one reviewing your case. And if we can agree to an amount with the adjuster, then great, settlement, and we close it out. And that's it. However, if we don't agree on a number, and it happens very often, and a lot of firms say, well, this is the best you're going to get. This is it or nothing. And you are kind of just forced into signing off on something that you don't feel good about. However, with our law firm, because we litigate, that means we will file a lawsuit. And at that point, it kind of goes to the whole court system and it's a whole different process. And what the insurance company has to do then is they have to go out and hire their attorneys. And so then our attorneys are talking to their attorneys, and it's this very attorney to attorney kind of thing at that point. And like I said, the court system is involved. But what that means is that one, cases can take longer in litigation, right? I mean, you're dealing with a court system and court schedules. And however, that opens up a lot of opportunity. Like at that point, a jury might be the one to decide, what you should be compensated. A judge might be able to decide, an attorney might be able to make a better offer. And so that's also something that sets us apart is we are not going to be bullied by insurance adjusters.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, that's nice to know that it's like, hey, I have a whole team. Not only do I have an assistant that's going to do everything for me, but I have a whole team behind me that's going to go to bat for me, that's going to fight for me, right? In case anything happens. Like you're just in the best care. You have the best team. I love it.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So how can somebody get a hold of you if they are in an accident? Where can they go? Who can they call? Email, social media? How do they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's Steele Adams Hosman or SAH Law. We pop right up. You can give us a call. Phone number or email is all in our Google page, or info at SH Legal. And we have, like I said, a whole team and myself included that will reach out to you and make this as streamlined as possible. I mean, sometimes we even go out to the client's home or work to get documents signed. Like I said, we know that it's going to be a very busy time, just life is busy. And then you have to add in, well, now I have to go, to get treatment. So we try to be super flexible and as easy as possible.
That's awesome. That's so great. Well, is there anything that we missed or that you want to go over still? Or um, I
No,
think
I
we hit
guess,
so
you
much.
said, how does the consultation process happen?
Oh
And
yeah,
all consultations are 100% free. If you have an attorney and you just want to know, kind of what the next steps are, or, you want to have a second opinion, we're super happy to do that. Or even if you're on the fence, like there is no obligation. Some people will say, well, I want to see what they say first. And we say, great, give us a call then. Like we're not selling you anything. We want to just help. And if we get the pleasure to, we're super honored to. But we'll just be super real and honest with you. So if you have any questions without any sales,
Yeah.
um, yeah, thing behind it, we're super happy to talk to you.
Even if they just want to come get a consult, eat some cookies,
Exactly. If you
and then
just
be
want
like,
to
"Eh."
stop on by.
I love it. I love it. So, I mean, there you go. It's like it's risk-free just to even just come talk to see if you even have a good case or even if you're a good fit. And and then you take care of them. So you can't ask for anything better than that. I love
Exactly.
it. Well, very good. Well, thanks for coming on. Man, hopefully maybe a little bit later when we'll do it again. I don't know. I think next week we have um your colleague coming on next week. So
Yeah, Justin is great. He is one of the three partners, and he is kind of the opposite of what people think when they think of an attorney. He's just a super cool, laid back guy. So I'm
uh,
really excited for you to talk to him.
cool. I'm excited too. Awesome. Well, thanks
Thank
again.
you.
And yeah, if you need any help, go talk to Steele Adams Hosman and hopefully Karen picks up on the other end.
I would be
Cool.
happy to. Thank you.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.